everybody, my name is Todd Batty. I'm the producer and creative director of SSX, and we're coming to you live from the dev team floor here at EA Canada in Vancouver. If it was a brighter day, you'd see the mountains out there behind us, but unfortunately it's a little bit cloudy and rainy today, as is the case in Vancouver most of the time. Anyhow, we're going to be coming to you with a series of videos here of sort of behind the scenes making of SSX. That looks technical, Tom. Tom's doing something over here really smart. And this is the kickoff video where we just kind of wanted to tell you a little bit about the franchise, how we're reinventing it, how we're trying to stay true to what SSX really was. You know, originally with SSX, we were looking at, three huge pillars to the game. First being, and sort of our tagline is race it, trick it, survive it. What that really means is, SSX has always had a great racing component. It's always been a great racing game, and racing is about, finding the fastest line down the mountain and really about hitting that sense of speed. Second big pillar for us, tricks. So there's been a lot of rumors that we're going to go simulation, or that tricks aren't going to be a big part of this game. Tricks are going to be a huge part of this game. And with tricks, it's really just about delivering huge over-the-top gameplay. It's about sort of navigating these crazy three-dimensional playgrounds with an incredible physics engine that we've got. Just delivering those huge over-the-top moments that you would expect from SSX. And then the third pillar, and sort of the new aspect that we're hoping to deliver with SSX, is something we're calling survival-type gameplay. The survival gameplay isn't about somebody trying to shoot you or someone trying to kill you while you're going down the mountain. It's more just representative of what we've seen the evolution of the sport to be, which is that there's people doing crazy things out there, risking their life, taking lines that previously could never have been taken before. You combine that with avalanches and rock slides and some of the awesome power of Mother Nature, and you put that in a huge over-the-top arcadey SSX wrapper, and we think it's going to represent a new pillar to the franchise that's going to be really something interesting and new. All right, so now let's go meet some of the guys that you're going to see in some of the future videos. Over here we have Ron Bignell. Ron is our art director.
Hi there, Ron Bignell, art director, SSX. Got some history with the franchise, worked on SSX Tricky, SSX 3, and have been part of this, building this franchise back for a few years now.
We have Dave Taylor. Dave Taylor is the producer and art director in charge of worlds and level design.
Hey, I'm Dave Taylor, art director / producer. We're going to be chatting about worlds, the scale of the game, making awesome easy.
And we have Sean Smiley, who's a producer in charge of cinematics and audio and presentation.
Hey everybody, I'm Sean Smiley, producer and game designer on SSX. I come from previous SSXs, SSX 3 and 4. On this game, I'm overseeing audio, campaign, and characters.
And these guys have a rich history with SSX, so I consider them to be your guys' representative of the sort of SSX police and making sure that everything we do stays true to the franchise. Hey everybody, my name's Todd Batty, producer and creative director on SSX. Today we're going to be talking about gameplay, and we can't talk about gameplay without sort of talking about tricks and over-the-top environments and controls and the key components of level design. So in this video, we're going to take you through each one of those aspects of the game and try to give you a little bit of understanding on how we're doing things. We wanted to take sort of all of the old SSX levels, and rather than have anything be fenced or gated or blocked, we wanted to basically turn every square inch of the level into a sort of three-dimensional physics playground. It's all really part of making awesome easy. You look so natural there. Dave, what are we looking at in this clip here?
All right, so here we see a case where I'm coming off the mountain, and I've got some angular momentum when I come off, and so I'm getting a situation where I want to preserve the angular momentum and have him roll as he comes off. So I've got some rolling, and then we want to make sure that I can do my grab and make sure that I can land nice and easy and stick my landing nice and tight there.
Yeah, that's awesome and easy. So one of the things we thought we could do is actually just show you some of the tricks that we're working on. So I'm sitting at the desk of Percy Fuentes. Percy is working on some of the tricks that go in the game. Why don't you show us what you're doing, Percy?
This one is a 1-foot trick coming from a melon grab. So takes off his back foot, spins it around, back on.
You know, a lot of people asking, are Uber tricks coming back? Are we still staying big and over the top? You can see we're well on our way in that same direction. Okay, so I'm over here at the desk of Pete Manel. Pete is our president and CEO of animation, lead animator, been with us since day one. Pete, what are you up to?
I'm quite simply taking the awesome work that Percy and Dan have been doing and building them into our tool. And then from there, quite simply taking them straight into game and trying them out.
Everything in gameplay starts with our brief. We want to sell iconic terrain. We want to make awesome easy. We need to provide memorable moments for the player. We need to turn the world into an opportunity space where you can go anywhere and ride everything. And obviously we want to eliminate frustration. So these levels and these worlds become the building blocks that in the next video, you're going to see Dave Taylor, our art director and the producer of Worlds, explain how we can take each one of these white box terrains that provide different types of gameplay experiences and build those into, you know, the different regions around the world, adding in all the thematic elements that would create the type of end experience that you would expect in an SSX level.
Hi, I'm Dave Taylor, Worlds Art Director on the new SSX. I'm here in the Worlds department where everyone's working pretty hard on making a new game. So this is where it all begins. The level design begins up here with our brief. This is what we define to be the whole SSX experience. And here we have our concept artist who's managed to replicate what we feel to be the iconic exaggeration that we're looking for in our game. So we have a bunch of examples here. We weren't happy just to have a regular half pipe in the game. Imagine if you were coming through the off the back of Everest and you managed to find this huge natural half pipe. How would it look in our universe? You know, obviously overscaled, plenty of opportunities for tricks, plenty of opportunities for the player to take his own path, do his own thing. Canyons, you know, these sort of things you wouldn't even get in a conventional ski resort. What would happen if we allowed the player to ride these canyons from jump to side, drop him in the middle, give him that opportunity to get that flow, you know, allow him to race it or trick it, it's up to him. And really exaggerate all the shapes, give it something that we describe as iconic. Take something, really SSXify it, punch it up. So all the iconic natural terrain, this is where it ends up. This board represents the entire scope of our game. It really is what we define as shredding the planet. We've made sure there's iconic representation within each of the continents of the world. Each one we've exaggerated, each one we've done the same treatment we did with the natural terrain back there. An example of this is the Rockies, as you can see, fully exaggerated. And we wanted to take a theme to each of these things. So for example here, imagine if an avalanche came crashing through a whole train network, what kind of playground would that give the player? We also wanted to give the player a lot more freedom in how he chose to explore these regions. So we came up with the concept of drop points, allowing the player to drop himself in. He can either choose to come in at these low altitudes where the thing's a little bit softer, a little bit more trick friendly, or go further up to the higher altitude peaks where you get a lot more speed, the weather gets a little bit more nasty. But really it's up to the player how he chooses to explore these regions.
Hey everybody, I'm Sean Smiling, a producer on SSX. My area is the game of presentation, campaign, and characters. So the characters SSX aren't necessarily changing, they're being evolved and updated to match the new challenges that are going to be in this game. A lot of new adventures for the characters, and a lot of that's going to be around the gear and what they're wearing. I'm going to show you where we were in the past with the characters and where we're going now. We have SSX, Tricky, 3, On Tour, and Blur, and here's the lineup of the characters. And as you can see, they've all gone through their different variations, from wearing t-shirts on the mountain to crazy kind of clothes and afros and the whole bit. Now I'm gonna hand you off to Ron, who's gonna talk about Elise Riggs, one of my favorite characters, and explain the process we go through to take her from where she was into what she's gonna be in this new game.
I'm Ron Bignell, art director on this franchise, and I'm just going to take one of the characters here, run you through sort of a process in terms of how we're evolving our characters. It's about staying true to the franchise and bringing the SSX IP characters of the old and bringing them into the SSX of the future. And there's a flavor that's going on here, which is more about believable gear, believable wardrobe, to enable the characters to, you know, exist and do their best in this more of a rough, natural world. Over here, just a few small images from SSX, SSX Tricky, SSX 3, On Tour, and Blur. And you can see she's remained very consistent. I think the artist, depending on who the character lead was, probably had a little bit of anatomical fun in terms of her build, but that's what character artists do. These images here is the current concept art that we're working with in terms of evolving Elise. This gives you kind of a look at the process we go through. I mean, you can just tell from a build and proportion, she's very true to where she was. I mean, this is not a simulation sports game. This is not anatomically correct models. This is, you know, sort of superheroes on a snowboard. So we're pushing proportions, pushing scale, and well, that is there to support, you know, the over-the-top gameplay and the exaggerated worlds that they live in. So that's it for taking a look at the concept art and the process we go through to create our IP characters. Let's take a look at Mike Christensen's work. He's our character modeler lead, and see Elise in game.
All right, so I'm going to go through a few quick steps on how she was created. The first step is getting the concept, and then from the concept, really getting a sense of proportion and scale of the character. Here we're just showing a quick demo of the base meshes, where you start from. Once that step's done, we get into a software package where it's more all about the detailing, things like wrinkles, materials, pore detail. Once all the high resolution details are done, what we do is we bake them down to textures and then apply that to the game mesh.